right. Hare Krishna. And Tunga Rasadevi Dasi just joined too. So one by one, joining together here in Vila Govinda Ashram in Italy. It is 2:01 p.m. and it is a different time in South Africa, in London, in USA, and Brazil, Norway, and Thailand. Oh, all right. So I'll let you manage things. Shri Leela Moy Prabhu. Manage the people coming in. So we're here to serve, and we've come together on this back to basic Zoom, which is an informal, happy Zoom, just to be together, an excuse to come and remind ourselves of the basics of devotional life, to answer questions, whatever we may be able to help with, or anyone can help with. And we're here simply to give encouragement to be, for us all to be, actual devotees, from interest to actual commitment. We want to actually do and be a devotee. So always lots of encouragement from the things we read every day, the things we hear every day, and even the crazy environment outside the door can give us encouragement that the world is a crazy place. No need to try to make a heaven in the midst of hell, as it were. And hell means non-Krishna-centered life. Self-centered life individually, village-wise, region-wise, country-wise, like this. So we want to go to real heaven, not fool's heaven. There's a fool's heaven, right? Not sure. There's gold and fool's gold, and there is heaven and fool's heaven. Don't know. Trying to think of some expression like that. So we've got the guidance of those who live there, those who know how to go there, and those who can help us if we allow ourselves to be helped. So who are those souls we are getting guidance from? The guidance is from Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our whole Rupa Nuga Guru Varga. And of course from Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who introduced and brought to the West the Maha Mantra and Krishna consciousness of Krishna and consciousness of the Panchatattva. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. So Srila Prabhupada brought such consciousness after being nourished by Srila Guru Maharaj and connected to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is a very special family for those who really can recognize a little bit, even a tiny bit, that they have presented truth to the world. They've presented honesty. They've presented non-political, non-denominational, the benefit for every human, every animal, for every tree, for every living entity, for everything. And that everything means if we put food to the stomach, all of your body is fed. Water the roots of the tree, all the twigs, leaves, branches, they are all fed and nourished. We serve Krishna, we put everything, all our energy there, then all of creation is nourished, and we are all part of creation, so we are not being unnourished by that too. So a little bit I can read, if you like, to start us on our way. Oh, where's Purushottam Prabhu? You're somewhere very mystic. I'm going to make your...
No, just an interesting background.
Oh, it's a... Okay, you fooled me. I thought you were somewhere very mystic and auspicious, which you may well be, but...
It's actually the archaeological temples near Tikul, the ashram in Tikul.
Okay, They've got pyramids there too, right?
Yeah, large ones. It's called Uxmal. It's it's not that well traveled, but it's also very big. The like I forget the name of the other larger ones down there, but yeah.
Okay, so that's your background, but you're actually in Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah, it's not like
With your body. Maybe your heart is in Tikku. That's permitted. All right, sorry, I was just slightly distracted because I thought you're going to be giving us some news. Looks like Cambodia is what I was seeing. It looks like Cambodia, reflections of that. All right, so I've got a short reading to get us started, and then we've got the possibility for questions, etc. And Ishwarananda Prabhu is with us. And so part of this, you might be familiar with Ishwarananda Prabhu because you have given me inspiration. What will we talk about in the Zoom? We always want to consider and think. And here I'm going to read from Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 1. I'm going to read from Srila Guru Maharaj, and it's just very inspiring and wonderful. And it is what I sent to you, Ishwarananda Prabhu. So this is part of what I sent you and then more. So it's not, you don't have to leave because you've heard it all before earlier today. And that what is here is part of what I sent and then more. Yeah. So I'm reading from Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 1. It's a little bit on chapter number 5, if you ever want to find it, but can hear. We'll try to transmit by hearing. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, through self-giving, giving oneself, I can acquire my fortune, and not as a master sitting in my chair, gathering information from different quarters to utilize for my selfish plans. In Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango Ta Bhajana Kriya, often quoted, to progress with faith, keeping the association of devotees and dedicating one's activities to the Lord means this, that you must go forward in your life with the spirit that you are willing to give away this life. Do or die, this expression, is of course not in the physical sense, but the internal sense, bhajana kriya. This is self-giving, ego-giving. Then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, tato nata nivritti syat, that if you can adopt this, then the undesirable things within you will disappear very easily and swiftly. Tato nishta, that means then you will find a continuous connection with such a principle in your life. That principle will always act continuously, and other fleeting, mean desires won't be able to approach you or touch you. Next, after that, next you will find ruchi, a real taste for divinity. Otherwise, before that continuous stage, whatever taste we may think we have is only treachery and not real taste. Nishta means nairantya, that when we are established in 24 hours a day, continuous connection with that charming substance, a real taste will arise and we can rely on that taste. Any taste that we may find in any other position is unreliable. 24 hours a day, connection with divinity, eliminating all other charms of this world is necessary. Then the ruchi, the conscious taste that arises in us, is a reliable guide. Hare Krishna. And then Guru Maharaj is continuing from there. After that, asakti, natural affinity arises. Natural affinity. You don't have any affinity for anywhere else. It's now a natural affinity arises. And then the symptoms of bhava, which is the bud stage of the flower of prema, divine love, makes its appearance. This is the way of progress. But if there is any imitation, only offenses will be created. Those offenses will be recorded in that circle of the examiners of the upper quarter, and they will give a stamp of disqualification that we are criminal and unfit. This will go against us and hamper our future progress. Thus, we must be very careful not to commit offense, aparad. It is better to be a newcomer with a new introduction than to have a criminal record, for that will go against us. We must be very, very careful in our quest for the highest objective of our eternal life. This caution has been especially given by our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he attracted us to the line of exclusive devotion. So this is a short excerpt, but it is also everything in the form of guidance for us. We've got book after book, after book, after book, after book, after book. We've got many, many books now, and both from Srila Prabhupada's writings, Prabhupada's translations, Guru Maharaj's writings, Guru Maharaj's translations, Gurudev's writings, Gurudev's translations, and from each of them, many, many hours of recorded talks, questions and answers, informal talks, actual kind of discourses in the sense of an address to an audience, etc. And so we've got lots and lots to guide us, but there is that common theme everywhere throughout. And this theme is that is the one that we must take the proper course and the proper guidance. And yes, we have to add with humility, with tolerance, with offering honor to others, and not wanting honor for ourselves. Hare Krishna. Anyway, this is in the middle of a chapter. Guru Maharaj has been speaking before, and he's going to continue to speak afterwards. So it's a few minutes, but a little bit of a reminder for us that we are on a scientific journey. We're not just floating into a jungle and seeing what we're going to find. There is a process, and that process we are following. And when we follow that process, then Srila Guru Maharaj is explaining what to expect, how things will happen, but that we must be sincere. And this everywhere, all these themes, they're in common. It's not one thing being said one day, something else being said another day. And why? Because we need to understand this is the purpose of our lives, and we must try to adjust. Hare Krishna. Indulekha Devidasi, welcome. She looks after our Facebook and Instagram broadcasts, and recently, by the grace of Kumkum Devidasi from America, we have here a satellite internet from Elon Musk. Some of you seem to know him. He seems to be quite a famous person. But anyway, so we have this thing on the roof which points to the sky, and it collects from the sky. It collects you from the sky. You see? Do you believe in satellites? You can't see them, but you can see their evidence. And we can look at it and think that looks very strange, pointing into the sky. But we have to see by the evidence, it's pointing at something up there, which I can't see. And from up there, it's collected all of you. Put you on my screen. Hare Krishna. So now I believe in satellites. Now believing in Krishna, it's not so much different. We can't see at our present stage, but we know he's there by the evidence which is all around, and especially from the expert. It took an expert to set up the Elon Musk satellite thing, and it takes an expert to set up us to be a proper receiver of the message of Mahaprabhu, the message of Krishna. And who are those experts? As we mentioned, Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. But since we got that very recently here, a few days ago, then touch wood, need some wood in this, yes, wood, touch wood, we've had very good result. All right, so I made a little reading. Oh, Pandita Didi raised her hand, it says here. Oh, so she did. Yes, Pandita Didi. You have a question or a contribution, but please do continue. Maybe it's a mistaken hand. In the meantime, I've just looked in the chat box, and Sevarupa has put what I've been reading there into the chat box. Yes, Pandita Didi, would you like to say something? Yes?
Yes, Maharaj, I have a question, but I apologies that I can't switch on my video at the camera at the moment.
It's okay.
It's interesting how this reading has come up, because actually a question or sort of a theme I've been thinking about is sacrifice. And really we, like Guru Maharaj is saying, that really it is through we can express our love and devotion through sacrifice. Sacrifice is love. So how can we communicate our appreciation for something is by self-giving. And we see in the lives of the most revered Vaishnavas an extreme sense of self-abnegation and humility to the furthest, really. The glories of the Vaishnavas are like expressed like that. But recently I've also been thinking that sacrifice sometimes is quite invisible. When seeing the lives of the Vaishnavas and seeing how they go through things so gently and elegantly, I've been thinking that actually that sacrifice is happening internally as well. And we cannot sometimes see what is sacrifice in the life of a Vaishnava. Just as sincerity is invincible. So I'm these are just some thoughts, and like really, actually, I would just love to hear you speak on this subject of sacrifice, and how can we understand where to go deeper, how to go deeper, and sometimes that is not exactly just expressed externally.
Right. So, well, one thing is to recognize in ourselves, and another thing is to recognize in others about sacrifice. And who was expert? I mean, of course, I suppose it goes without saying, was Srila Gurudev. he could understand that internal sacrifice of the devotees who came to him. And in some, he immediately understood this is not sacrifice. They're coming with some other ulterior motive, some other purpose. They're not faithful. And Gurudev would sometimes point this out and tell me, because we're looking after the Westerners, and so we have to be a little bit aware. And generally, everything is going on smoothly. But Gurudev did point out some devotees who came. He said, they're coming for the wrong purpose. And I mean, I accepted from coming from Gurudev, but it took me a while to recognize that. I mean, until something you could say came from the invisible to the visible, then we could, oh yes, Gurudev told like this to be careful. But that's, you could say, recognizing what is not sacrifice. But Srila Gurudev would recognize what is sacrifice. And devotees who may not have given like much money or given something in a way that you could say, physically, this devotee has done this great seva. But Gurudev gave much appreciation to particular devotees, that they are devotees. And one of them was the devotee who came from Hawaii, Krishna Bhakta, I believe, the friend of Dibya Shakti. She encouraged him to come. And Gurudev gave him such a great honor, but yet we can't give you any list of things that he has done, but yet he was given much honor. And another devotee was, I know his name, I know his material name, the devotee from north of Sweden. And Gurudev really, gave him much honor. But it means honor means he saw what he's sacrificing to be a devotee, but from inside. And so Gurudev was he was our prime example of recognizing inside the heart of those who came to him, either physically came to him to the temple, but also they may be in another part of the world completely, but Gurudev is understanding that. But for us, how to go deeper, this is a constant question. First is how to make sure I'm maintaining where I am. And then the second question is how to go deeper, especially when we come to options, like a roundabout. In this material world, everyone on the Zoom at least, know about cars, roads, and roundabouts. Oh, not in America. They haven't learned how to go round a roundabout in most places, or in the places I went to in America. They have to stop and then go. Anyway, anywhere else in the world, they've got these things called roundabouts. And you have it, like, you can have 4 exits, 5 exits, 6 exits, whatever you like, you go around. Which exit do you take? And so in life, we have the bigger questions like that, as well as on a daily basis. So we always have to try to keep ourselves with Guru, with Gauranga, with Krishna, with the guidance that we've received in the front of our mind rather than deep in the back, and think, what is the best? What is the best decision? What would be the advice of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj? Do I waste my time or do I do some service? That's on like a daily basis. We have to try to keep all our minutes, all our moments also in the right direction. But the bigger questions that come up, the bigger options when we come to, like we say, the roundabout, where will we go from here in our active life? And finally, we can say, if we are sincere, we will be safe. And we can consult with others who are on the same path, senior to us or more experienced, have got more experience, and who are our well-wishers, those three qualities that everyone knows basically. Rupa Goswami has given that advice. This is the best association. And then we will continue. And really one super spiritual luxury for us all is the ocean of guidance in printed form, as well as audio form, visual form, etc., by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada in English, at least, is easier to translate to other Western languages than the Sanskrit, which we see so much debate about the meaning of each verse in Sanskrit by so many scholars. But the Western world, for all its faults, the language is a little bit more direct. You don't have to be an intellectual to understand that when it says the grass is green, then we're pretty much sure the grass is green and not brown. So these factors coming together means that we have in the Western language, sorry to say for the non-native English speakers, but the language, at least in India, which was considered the world language of English, we've got clear as it is presentation of the essence of the teachings of our masters, and the teachings of our masters is for our practical application. And in fact, the beginning of our short reading just now was that we are not just to sit in a chair and gather lots of knowledge, reading everything like this. We need to actually be a surrendered soul. We must actually do something. So the knowledge to know about the method of Krishna consciousness brings us to the devotees. If we see what is actual knowledge, we need to come to the devotees. And then when we come to the devotees, what do? Do we just be there as a nuisance, or we be with the devotees in an assistive way? What can I participate? Service. So then we practice, and then we are practicing under guidance. And that guidance in the beginning is, be vegetarian, don't smoke cigarettes. It's very basic guidance. But we got guidance from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, which is taking us through to the top of Goloka Vrindavan. Guess what? I just got a message saying my internet is unstable. What a cheek. After glorifying this internet connection. Okay. Anyhow, so the guidance that's come from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev especially, and Srila Prabhupada, amazing purport, so many things, and very much recognizable in Guru Maharaj, and hence being Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We've got an ocean of guidance to take us from the step of be vegetarian all the way to that step of the highest plane of love in the highest world. So we're not short of guidance. And in fact, Ishwaranand asked a question and I replied that Guru Maharaj answered your question this morning. And it was before this excerpt that I read just now, which is some part before that we read in the temple room. And it was pretty much exactly the answer for Ishwarananda Prabhu. But we find that we have questions, and then we read something and we see that, oh, there's my answer right in front of me. So we must keep our eyes open to the indication of the environment, but the indication especially of the guidance that we're getting from our masters. So the point about surrender and going deeper, because that's what Mahaprabhu is also telling to Ramananda Roy. Yes, this is the going in the right direction, but go deeper. Going in the right direction, yes, but go deeper. So the surrender side. It may be invisible, but it is the tangible side. It is the reality. There are lots of things, actually. I mean, every day that we read, let me see. Yes, so just as an example, the very beginning of this chapter, which is chapter 5 of the sermons, is, I just read it, it's 10 lines or 8, something like that, depending on the size of the print. Okay. Guru Maharaj saying, try to adjust yourself through sound only, the subtlemost element of this plane. Through sound, go on cultivating spiritual life. And that too must be approached with a serving attitude. Otherwise, it will be futile. We are recommended to approach divinity through the most subtle element of this gross world. And then Guru Maharaj says, although it is apparently nothing to us at present, this divinity is actually everything. So we are going on a journey from thinking that that is nothing to find out that it is everything, and where we are, where we've come from by the time we get there. And if we look back with that, we look back to here and say, that was nothing. Hare Krishna. So this is a very good chapter to read, to answer this question about going deeper and about our own journey, assessing ourselves of our self-giving nature and our lack of self-giving nature, and trying to correct ourselves along the clean thinking, the sane, opposite of insane, the sane thinking of the pure Vaishnavas. And Guru Maharaj, in some place, I don't know if it's in the book or not, but Srila Guru Maharaj, he was saying about sanity. And who is a really sane person? The actual perfectly sane person is the perfect devotee, the pure devotee. Otherwise, the insanity of self-centeredness, self-importance, I, me, mine, that is insanity. And this is at the root of all the insanity of our surroundings. But our surroundings we have earned is the root of our own insanity. But in the insane hospital, the insane patients are not expected to stay insane forever. They're getting help. And we are getting help, much help, from those who are truly sane, to take us to a beautiful, beautiful home. And you can say Guru Maharaj giving some philosophy, understanding here, but I just see if I can find, but always he's coming to, okay. So a little later on, because always Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, our guardians, are coming to this point about beauty, sweetness, love, charm, home, all these things. They want us to be happy. They want us to come home. They want us to be eternal and not to go through the pains of leaving the body, all that trouble between with the time we leave a body and get a new body, and etc., etc. Anyway, we've been there before. I think it's Canto 5 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can wake anybody up to, oh yes, I seem to remember that deep down inside. I've been there before and we're waiting to go there again. This cycle of birth and death. But sweetness, beauty, charm, eternal life. This is what our masters want from us and are guiding us to. So here, coming to that beauty theme, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, service means self-giving, self-dedication. And this should be our attitude to approach the plane. I mean, he's been talking about that plane, Krishna's land. In that way, all the coatings of ego, the coverings of ego, will vanish one by one. And the genuine self, American genuine, but genuine self, will come out from within and select its own soil. It will feel, this is my home. So many coverings are deviating us in different directions, taking us far, far away from our Swarup, our real noble self, which is a servant in the highest plane of the whole organism. So our noble self is there inside, and he, she, it is a servant in the highest plane of the whole organism. So now we may think, oh, powerful, many, many things. But now what does Guru Maharaj say? He says, the beautiful is playing, dancing in his own sweetness and affection. And we can reach him following such a course of do or die at every moment. So we can reach him by following such a course of do or die at every moment. So, yes, we have to always be internally conscious and not a matter of show also. To show we are doing something, show we're doing this. It is a matter of inside, and actually those who really have that mood inside, they sometimes want to show the opposite just to keep people away. And we get that in the case of Bangsidas Babaji Maharaj, we are told. He deliberately gave some bad impression to the people so that he wouldn't be disturbed. But we cannot use that as an excuse for our own badness. That's another thing, not to be imitative. Otherwise, we heard in the first reading, we heard that if we try to imitate, then we will get a stamp of disqualification from the upper world, from the examiners of that quarter, and we won't be allowed in. Hare Krishna. And the process, what we are doing, the land of seva with sadhu sangha and the holy name. The holy name, sadhu sangha, seva. And I have a question now for Ishwaran Prabhu. You've got flying flags behind you in a blue sky. Are you in Nepal or are you beside Heathrow Airport? You're beside Heathrow Airport. Well, blue sky and the flags. Okay. Jai. Hare Krishna, Rasarati Devi Rasi with us here in Italy, Nazar from Ukraine with us happily, and Savitri just nearby. Jayanti representing Brazil. Oh, and Vrindavaneshri Didi here representing Brazil also. Very good. Hare Krishna. Oh my goodness, Jayanti, she's in a spaceship. Purushottam Prabhu, he was in Mexico, but Jayanti is in a spaceship. She's in, what's that? It goes around the world, the space station. Hare Krishna. So Pandita, do you have any reflections on what I just mentioned? That
Maharaj, so many beautiful thoughts that very thought-provoking, and it's so sweet to hear about Srila Gurudev and how he was able to extract those internal moods by the devotees, the sincerity, the true sense of sacrifice that devotees came to his feet with, and also not. And it's very humbling to me to think of all the internal adjustments that are constantly happening on the part of the Vaishnavas. You know, the unseen aspect of our devotional life, of everyone's devotional life, those internal tweaks to the ego that are made on a continuous basis to try to come closer to what's true and what's genuine. And all of what you were sharing is so helpful to help to properly align with what's given. And then this last point you made about this, that serving is adjusting through sound. That really our process is the Maha Mantra, and it is so powerful. And even just the thought that I had, that even I want to cultivate faith, I want to go deeper with my faith, but even if I don't understand it, we hear from our guardians that this is the truth, and to just follow humbly and carefully, and hold this ideal above our head is just what we have to do. So it's a very happy thing, very beautiful, and pretty amazing that we have access to this process of purification in seva to the topmost divinity.
Hare Krishna. Yes. We were doing some mathematical calculations just to blow our minds out about how rare it is.
Right.
And sufficient to say there were an awful lot of numbers at the end of the rarity, you know, for winning the jackpot or winning the European lottery or whatever is equivalent in other countries, you know, where you win 10 million euros, $10 million or something. There are some odds, and they calculate, you know, what are the odds. And a long time ago, I did hear something that actually the odds of you getting fatally injured going to place the bet were much, much higher than the odds of you winning the however many million euros. But they do have some like calculation. But if you look at the calculation of the odds of coming into this current at this time, this quality of current at this time are way beyond those odds of getting run over on the way to laying the bet for the Euro lottery, and but way beyond the odds of winning the Euro lottery. I mean, just when we see all of that in number-wise, if you like, it's not only 1 in a billion, it's like a 1 in a so many billion, billions of billions of opportunities and chances. And we've, as we say, we've been living, we've always been living, but now we are living in human body at this time. And we heard Gurudev the other day on the recording. I don't know if you were here still, if you, I think, gone back to London already, but we heard Gurudev saying this is the very best age. So we must remember this and not get sucked into the material waves of whirlpools of unfortunate arguments and conversation. We must keep everything within the sphere of the fortune of what we've come to in this age, which is the gift, causeless gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In its purity, through the grace of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Actually, Maharaj, this topic of sacrifice came up also. I mean, it's come up multiple times, and just recently I also saw this post by Salt Lake City Kirtan Center and Sudarshan Prabhu talking about sacrifice and this uncertainty principle in the path of surrender and trying to approach the infinite. And he's saying it's a great gift in life to feel uncertainty, because now we must mine the most valuable substance in reality, sacrifice. He's saying you're not risking anything and you have infinity to gain, but those stages have to be sincerely navigated. It is actually a great gift in life to be feeling these moments of uncertainty, because now you have to mine most valuable substance in reality, which is sacrifice, which is love. He's going on more, but
yes, we have a solution. We have a solution. We are not hopeless. We've got much hope. Very optimistic. But we, at the same time, we mustn't be holding on to this world and think, oh, but this world is okay. So all the things that happen which are uncertain in this world can push us towards the search for the certain world, where also there is no apprehension for the future, because we are in the hand of the Lord. Not worried about this, not worried about that. We're in the hand of the Lord. Yes, dear Lord, what will happen will happen. Only by your allowing it to happen also. You are affectionate, so everything is happening for a purpose. And a hand up from Purushottam Prabhu. And he's left Egypt and come back to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, on that kind of topic, the internal intangible aspects of Krishna consciousness, we hear a lot about it. I think particularly in the Mat, because the message of the Mat is so refined, coming from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. Yeah, and then definitely here in Salt Lake City, we're definitely always trying to cultivate that aspect of Krishna consciousness. But in the light of this this verse that Saraswati Thakur wrote about keeping that plane worshipable on our head, I think it goes Puja Raga Pata Gaurava Bange Matala Sadhu Jana Kirtana Range, or some variation thereof.
Some variation.
Maharaj, what can you say? Sorry?
No, good.
What can you say about this internal intangible aspect being cultivated properly, with kind of an objective focus on the things that as a community we can all do together, and then internally, individually, and as things allow from the upper side, this beautiful spontaneous aspect of bhakti can descend on its own. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? The balance of practicality with this beautiful internal practice.
So the internal practice is also the external practice, in the sense of when we have an opportunity to serve with our body, with our whatever it is, maybe our mind, with our cleverness, I mean our expertise in something, when we have an opportunity to serve, then this is what we will do. We need to do something in this world. And you are fortunate that you are living in one of the rare places in the world where you are close to a functioning ashram, where you can hear all these topics day by day, and in the classes, especially the additional classes once or twice a week or 3 times a week. I'm not sure the program. But we know that Gurudev will want that the centers that are where these where this facility is available, that we know Gurudev will want that those centers will run nicely. So we've got the opportunity to actually do something, quick say physically, but to help the smooth running of that center, this, I mean, wherever we are, the centers that are near us. So in this way, that's a physical thing we're doing, something we're doing to help the community, but the purpose behind it is actually to satisfy Srila Gurudev. We know he would like that to be done, not that we or somebody else will look after it, but we will do that. But at the same time, we will be getting some payment, but the payment is not in rupees or in dollars, whatever may be, or in bitcoins. Our payment will be in the form of more tendency to serve and more quality of service too. And in a busy kitchen, there may be 4 people all washing pots, and they all may have a different opinion about washing, I mean, a different mentality. One may be sitting there, oh, when's this going to end? I hate washing pots. I was told to wash the pots, but I got a free meal. You know, this is one aspect. And then the next step. And on the other side of it is washing pots, because this is service for the Vaishnavas. If I don't do it, somebody else has to do it. They're all Vaishnavas here. I am lucky to get that opportunity to be the servant of the servant of the servant. And we are here and happily washing the pots. Same activity, but a different consciousness. And the more that we are successful, if you like, in pleasing the devotees and headed by Gurudev. Gurudev is not gone. As you all know, Gurudev said about Guru Maharaj, he didn't depart, he disappeared. Gurudev did not depart, he disappeared. So he disappeared from us, but he didn't depart. He's still there. So maybe I didn't exactly get the whole question in its context, but we have things to do which are very tangible devotionally, but that is also internal cultivation. So that we do wash the pots, but with a completely happy devotional attitude, with Gurudev, with Krishna, with Mahaprabhu in Salt Lake City, Gauranga Sundar, beautiful Gauranga, at the center. This is our center of our thought. And we're not doing it for anything else. We're not doing it because we're getting a free meal. We're doing it because we want to help the devotees. So this is one aspect, but that will come over into our all-day activities. And we're not always with the devotees. We're going somewhere, we're doing something, we have to do correspondence and whatever duties everyone has to do. But we will find that internally, we are also gradually changing to see the world in a different way and in a very beautiful and positive way. So the internal surrender, the internal increase in our self-giving mood will come automatically as we do follow this process. So it's not that we then think we'll sit in the top of a tree for some meditation and, oh no, I won't go to the ashram. Or, that just independently, I'll do something separate to give me a better conviction to surrender. Rather, we'll try to surrender. And what surrender? We are surrendering our time as well, which is very valuable to everyone. You cannot get back at 1 hour. You cannot get back a day. And our meditation is our japa. We have Harinam, we have Gayatri, and we have the puja, we have the kirtans. All of these are taken in the proper way, are our meditation. And washing pots is also a meditation. I mean, it is. Life is our meditation. It's our attitude to life. And so it just needs that change, that Krishna is at the center, Guru, Vaishnava at the center. And we are, however remotely connected, but somehow connected in that channel. And I can certainly say Gurudev will be happy. Salt Lake City, the Salt Lake City temple will be supported and run with a little help from everybody. It's not all on one person's shoulder. And there is Ishwarananda Prabhu, your Salt Lake City devotee, but there he is in London. And he's helping London run, looking like Nepal, as we said, from the way you have your camera with the flags flying in the blue sky. And there's Jaipur Gauranga Prabhu near the Australian ashram, Seva Rupa Devidasi near the Johannesburg ashram, Vrindavan Ashri Devidasi near the center that they have in Uberlandia. So step by step, and yes, okay, Govinda Farm, we won't miss out our brahmachari section, our other brahmachari section in the quickly manifesting temple. Hare Krishna. And Gurudev, we've got Gurudev as our example. And he liked us all to be busy. And we had devotees, we had sannyasis in the temple, starting to read things, and they should do this and do this. And it says, oh, we should chant Om. And we had one sannyasi in the temple. He would sit there and he would be doing Om, Om, Om like this, and loudly. And Gurudev absolutely disapproved this kind of thing. So we are not to try to invent something because we read something somewhere and we think, okay, that's a good idea, I will do that. We already have the guidance of what to do. And as one of our dear devotees would say, it's not actually rocket science. It's quite simple. Follow the process. And the internal cultivation will come automatically by our following that prescription, taking the medicine, taking the diet, taking the exercise. But we all have to reflect. It's not a mechanical thing. It's not that we've now got a steady routine, we do this and yeah, we feel good. We always have to reflect and try to go deeper. Hence, every evening, every morning. Every evening, consider how was our day, honestly. And every morning, give ourselves a bit of a hit with a stick. Today, I'm going to do better. I heard that it was Srila Saraswati Thakur who gave some direction like this. I'm not sure I heard this from Gurudev. Did I? Not sure. But anyhow, every evening you assess how undevotional you've been, not to give yourself all the credits for the things I did, but for the uncredits, and get a shoe, which in India is regarded as like the lowest thing. Beat yourself with the shoe, insult yourself. I'm not sure this is meant to be done physically, but this idea, you get a shoe and regret, you beat yourself for what you were unsuccessful for in your last 24 hours. And then in the morning, you get a stick and you give yourself a whack. Today, I'm going to do everything right. So if it's true or not, I don't know, but the principle is sort of there, and Gurudev also gave this idea. In the evening, we should look back and see how we've done, see our shortcomings, and then next day resolve ourselves to correct ourselves. It's a journey. And you've done, Purushottam, you've done some long journeys, we've done some long journeys. If you actually on a journey, when you, a walk or a pilgrimage where you're covering a long distance, you actually only stop for like refreshment. You stop for some refreshment, for something, just so you can keep on going. And you're always conscious about every minute, so that you're always going forward and fully minimize any gaps. Otherwise, you can be like a big strong walker, but if all the time stopping and resting on the ground, then you just don't get to your destination. So this is a journey, and we need to be equivalent in the sense we always must try to go forwards. And it may look external, but it is actually the internal journey. Guru Maharaj and Gurudev are never saying about our material state. They're talking about our spiritual journey. This body made of mud, transformation of mud. This is what this body is. Hare Krishna. All right, we better let everyone continue. We let Jayanti continue her cooking for Krishna and the family. Krishna, then the family. And we'll let each of you continue your day and hear our day too. Today, by the way, we've been quite in a festival day, and so we gave it a name. We said, yes, today is the Thursday festival in the series of Every Day is a Festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for those who participate. And everyone did participate, everyone like very still in festival mood. And even some festival prasadam left over from yesterday. So it helps the festival mood. All right, dear ones, we'll continue. Oh, 2 chats in the chat box. Better take a quick look before we go. Oh, Sevarupa. Oh, so Sevarupa's put in the chat box. If you want to find, actually everything I read today was from that 5th chapter of Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 1, which you can all get on the Math website, scsmat.com, left side, go to books. Click there, then go to PDF books. You can download by clicking the link. Then the link is in the picture, as is a little hidden, as Naza pointed out. All right, so we'll let you continue your day, but let us all continue our day. Heart within and God overhead. A phrase Srila Guru Maharaj used, which I think is a British phrase, that he utilized that, but in remembrance of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So indeed, all glories to Sri Guru, Srila Gurudev, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakha, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, and Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, but also Srila Prabhupada with Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, worldwide devotees Ki Jai, and Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila BR Madhusudan Maharaj ki
Hare
Jai.
Krishna. But you know what else, after all of this, like reading and sharing something? Try to know Gurudev, try to know Guru Maharaj, and just happily, automatically follow what you really feel they would want from you at every moment of the day, because they are wonderful. They have given so much guidance. We'd love to fully give them to you. So the best way is through these quotations, and as far as we can, to to just share their sweetness, their generosity, their heart. This is what we are all cultivating. Hare Krishna. Ami Aschi. Govinda Govinda. Hari Hari.